Imagine this. You've just glided through check-in. The ship is gleaming under the sun, and your long-awaited vacation is finally about to begin. You're already picturing the pool deck, the laughter, and that first salty breeze. But suddenly, a crew member waves you aside. Security takes your bag, pulls out an item you thought was completely harmless, and shakes their head. In a heartbeat, your excitement turns into panic, because what you brought is banned. In 2025, cruise lines have quietly updated their rules, and everyday things that once seemed normal are now on the prohibited list. Break the rules and you don't just risk embarrassment. You could face confiscation, fines, or even being denied boarding. That's why this guide isn't just about what's banned. It's about how you can stay 2 steps ahead, pack smart, and still enjoy every comfort you love at sea. So let's dive into the very first items that have surprised countless passengers this year. These stories come with hard-earned lessons, and I'll share the smarter alternatives that can keep your cruise smooth and stress-free. Item 1. Bluetooth speakers and white noise machines. For many of us, a vacation doesn't feel complete without music. Maybe you've got a playlist of ocean-themed tunes ready to set the mood, or perhaps you rely on a small white noise machine to help you sleep in new places. But here's the catch. Cruise lines, especially Carnival, have now banned portable Bluetooth speakers and even standalone white noise devices, even inside your cabin. Why the sudden rule? Officially, it's about safety. These devices can mask emergency announcements, and on a ship, missing an instruction could be a matter of life and death. But there's another reason. Too many passengers were turning the pool deck into a private concert venue. What might sound like fun to you can be disruptive to hundreds of others who came for peace. So what can you do instead? The smart solution is personal audio. Pack a pair of noise-canceling headphones or sleep earbuds. If you depend on white noise, download an app to your phone and play it softly through earphones in Do Not Disturb mode. You'll still have your comfort, but you won't risk losing your gear to the ship's naughty room. Trust me, nothing ruins a vacation faster than watching your favorite gadget disappear on day 1. Item 2. Personal satellite systems and rogue hotspots. Let's be honest, cruise Wi-Fi can feel expensive and slow. It's tempting to think you've outsmarted the system by packing your own Starlink dish or a clever little hotspot that shares one purchased plan across all your devices. But here's the reality. In 2025, cruise lines are cracking down hard on personal satellite gear and unauthorized hotspots. Security teams now scan for rogue networks. If they detect your device, it can be confiscated on the spot. And in some cases, you won't see it again until the cruise ends. Why? Because these devices interfere with the ship's own communication systems, create cybersecurity risks, and cut into the revenue that funds onboard connectivity. So how do you stay connected without risking your vacation? First, accept that cruise internet works differently than land-based service. If you need constant access, purchase the ship's multi-device package. Yes, it's pricey, but it's reliable and won't land you in trouble. Second, prepare before you sail. Download shows, movies, maps, and even translation apps for offline use. And finally, practice going unplugged for certain hours of the day. You'll not only avoid security issues, but you might rediscover the joy of a slower, simpler pace at sea. The very thing many of us go cruising to find. Item 3. Walkie-talkies and baby monitors. Remember the days when families carried walkie-talkies on cruises to keep track of each other? Parents handed one to their kids, couples used them to reconnect after separate activities, and it felt like the ultimate travel hack. Well, that hack has officially sunk. Cruise lines, including Royal Caribbean and Norwegian, have now banned walkie-talkies and even wireless baby monitors. The reason may surprise you. These devices interfere with the ship's emergency communication systems. Even low-power models can cross into radio frequencies that the crew depends on during drills or real emergencies. Imagine a simple chat with your teenager accidentally jamming a life-or-death call between the bridge and fire control teams. That's not a chance the cruise lines are willing to take. So what's the smarter move? First, download your cruise line's mobile app before boarding. Many now include onboard messaging and locator features. Second, practice old school connection points. Set daily meeting spots, or use a small notebook to leave notes in your cabin. Low-tech, yes, but reliable. The lesson here? Safety always trumps convenience, and a little pre-planning goes a long way. Item 4. Boxed wine and sneaky alcohol containers. Picture this. You've packed your favorite box of wine, maybe even a clever hidden flask disguised as sunscreen. You imagine sipping it on your balcony at sunset, feeling smart for beating the overpriced drink packages. But here's the reality. Boxed wine, disguised alcohol, and clever refill tricks are now under heavy scrutiny and confiscated instantly if caught. Why? First, boxed wine is harder to inspect and easier to tamper with. Second, cruise lines already allow one sealed bottle of wine per adult, but nothing beyond that. And third, sneaking liquor violates maritime laws and creates unnecessary risks. Crew members have seen every trick in the book. Shampoo bottles filled with vodka, resealed juice cartons, even mouthwash bottles dyed green to mimic the real thing. Here's the smarter strategy. Play by the rules and bring your one bottle per adult. If you enjoy variety, compare the cost of beverage packages against your drinking habits. You may find it actually saves money. And if you'd rather avoid alcohol, try mocktail menus or specialty coffees on board. They're often overlooked, surprisingly affordable, and give you the same feeling of indulgence without the risk of a security showdown. Item 5. Drones. Pack versus fly. Drones promise that perfect sweeping shot. The ship gliding through turquoise waters, the sun setting behind a Caribbean skyline. But here's the truth. Most cruise lines have banned drones outright, while a few only allow them if stored with security for the entire voyage. And even if you manage to bring one, flying it from the ship is strictly prohibited. Why? Safety and legality. A drone buzzing over a crowded pool deck could injure someone or damage ship property. And in port, flying without permission could land you in serious legal trouble. There have already been cases of passengers arrested in foreign countries for unauthorized drone flights. Not exactly the souvenir you want from your vacation. So what's the smart workaround? Trade the drone for a compact action camera or smartphone gimbal. A well-shot video with smooth panning and thoughtful angles can be just as cinematic and far less risky. Plus, you'll spend less time fiddling with gear and more time actually enjoying the moment. After all, isn't that why you booked the cruise in the first place? Item 6. Pool inflatables and floaties. You finally picture it, lounging on a giant unicorn float, drifting across the ship's sparkling pool while the sun warms your face. Sounds magical, right? Unfortunately, that dream won't happen at sea. Cruise pools are strictly no-float zones. That means no inflatable donuts, no flamingos, no pool noodles, and definitely no oversized swans. The reason is simple: safety and space. Cruise ship pools are much smaller than hotel or resort pools, and they often don't have lifeguards. Floats block visibility, limit movement, and create real risks for kids and adults alike. Crew members won't hesitate to deflate your unicorn and whisk it away faster than you can say Marco Polo. So what can you do? Leave the floats at home and embrace what's allowed: life jackets. Most ships provide them free of charge, and they're designed for safety without cluttering the pool. Want something playful? Save the floaties for your backyard or a resort stay on land. On a cruise, the best pool accessory you can bring is a good pair of swim goggles and maybe a waterproof phone pouch to capture the fun. Item 7. Non-Reef Safe Sunscreen. The Caribbean, Hawaii, Mexico. You step off the ship, beach bag in hand, ready to soak up paradise. But if you packed the wrong sunscreen, you might be in for an unexpected fine or even be turned away at the beach. Increasingly, destinations are banning sunscreens with chemicals like oxybenzone and octinoxate because they damage fragile coral reefs and marine ecosystems. Here's the catch. Your cruise line won't warn you about this. They don't enforce sunscreen rules on board, but local authorities do at port. That means your regular sunscreen could get you flagged, confiscated, or worse, hit with a fine you didn't budget for. The smart move? Pack reef-safe sunscreen right from the start. Look for mineral-based products made with zinc oxide or titanium dioxide. Not only will you protect your skin, but you'll also be protecting the very ocean you came to enjoy. Plus, choosing reef-safe products is becoming a skill every eco-conscious traveler should master. It's a small swap that pays off in peace of mind and in keeping paradise pristine. Item 8. Multi-plug extenders and surge protectors. If you've cruised before, you know the struggle. Your cabin has maybe 2 outlets total, yet you've got a phone, camera, Kindle, smartwatch, and maybe even a CPAP machine to power. The natural solution? Pack a multi-plug extender or power strip. Except, in 2025, most cruise lines are confiscating them at boarding. Why? Fire risk and electrical safety. Surge protectors and even basic outlet extenders can overheat in older cabins that weren't built for modern electronics. And on a ship, even the smallest fire hazard is treated as a top-level emergency. So how do experienced cruisers adapt? By packing a USB-only charging hub. These are approved because they don't pull heavy electrical loads through the cabin's wiring. Bonus points if you choose a cube-style charger with multiple USB ports. And here's a pro tip. Bring a labeled pouch just for chargers and cables so you never misplace them in the tiny cabin drawers. With this simple swap, you'll keep your devices powered up without a single raised eyebrow from security. Item 9. Steamers, irons, and heating gadgets. Let's be honest, nobody wants to step into the elegant dining room wearing a wrinkled shirt or a crumpled dress. Many first-time cruisers pack a small travel steamer or even a compact iron, thinking it's the perfect solution. But here's the truth. Steamers, irons, kettles, and anything with exposed heating elements are on the strictly banned list. Why? Because fire at sea is one of the greatest dangers a ship can face. Even a small spark in a cabin can become a massive emergency. Cruise security will scan every bag, and if they find these items, they're gone before you even get your key card. So what's the smarter way? Experienced cruisers rely on wrinkle release spray, hanging clothes in the bathroom while running a hot shower, or packing wrinkle-resistant fabrics. And here's a secret tip. Many cruise lines offer same-day pressing services that are surprisingly affordable. Instead of stressing over confiscated gadgets, you'll walk into dinner looking sharp and relaxed. Item 10. Perishables and homemade snacks. It feels natural to pack a sandwich for the trip to port, or maybe carry a bag of fruit from the breakfast buffet for a beach picnic. But this is where many passengers get tripped up. Cruise lines strictly prohibit bringing homemade or perishable foods on board, and local customs agents are even stricter if you try to carry fresh food off the ship. Why? Sanitation and agriculture safety. A simple bag of grapes can carry pests or bacteria that threaten entire ecosystems. That's why countries like Mexico and the Bahamas impose hefty fines for passengers caught with fresh produce or meats. So what's the alternative? Pack factory-sealed snacks like granola bars, sealed nuts, or vacuum-packed dried fruit. These are allowed and perfect for a quick energy boost. And if you want fresh food at the beach, buy from local vendors. Just make sure it's sold in the open, not smuggled from the ship. Not only will you avoid legal trouble, but you'll also support local communities along the way. Item 11. Live plants and bouquets. It sounds charming, doesn't it? Bringing along a fresh bouquet to surprise your partner in the cabin, or a little potted herb to make the space feel cozy. But live plants, flowers, and anything with soil are almost always banned on cruise ships. Why? Agricultural contamination. Soil can carry microbes or insects that, if introduced on board or at a port, could cause serious damage to delicate ecosystems. Ships operate under strict international agricultural rules, and they can't afford to take risks. Here's the good news. Romance and comfort aren't off the table. Most cruise lines offer flower delivery services you can pre-order, so a beautiful bouquet can still be waiting in your cabin when you arrive. And if you just want a touch of greenery, pack a small artificial plant or even a foldable travel photo of your favorite garden at home. You'll get the same cozy vibe without breaking the rules. Item 12. CBD products and cannabis derivatives. With CBD oil and gummies popping up in wellness stores everywhere, many travelers assume they're safe to pack for a cruise. After all, if they're legal at home, why wouldn't they be fine at sea? But this is where a lot of passengers get caught off guard. Cruise lines, almost without exception, ban CBD oils, edibles, and anything related to cannabis. Why? International maritime law and port regulations vary wildly. What's legal in Florida could be a criminal offense in Jamaica or the Bahamas. Ships don't take the risk, and many even employ sniffer dogs at embarkation. If you're caught, you could face confiscation, fines, or even being denied boarding altogether. So what should you do? If you rely on CBD for pain or sleep, talk with your doctor before traveling and ask about alternatives. Keep all prescriptions in original containers with your name clearly visible, and bring printed documentation. If you're looking for wellness on board, most ships now offer spa treatments, meditation sessions, and even yoga classes, healthier, legal alternatives that keep your vacation stress-free. Accessibility rules. The wheelchair curveball. Now let's talk about something that isn't an item you pack, but it can end your cruise before it even starts. Mobility aids. Recently, some UK-based cruise lines have introduced a rule that passengers who use wheelchairs must book an accessible cabin. Show up with a chair and a standard stateroom. You could actually be denied boarding, even if your chair folds. Why? Safety protocols. In an emergency, staff must ensure they can safely assist passengers who need mobility support. Accessible cabins are designed with wider doors, lower thresholds, and direct evacuation routes. Standard cabins don't meet those requirements, and cruise lines won't risk it. But here's the problem. Many travelers only discover this rule at the terminal, after saving for months and arriving with bags packed. Imagine being turned away at the gangway for something you didn't even realize was a policy. The smart move? If you or a loved one uses a wheelchair, call the cruise line directly before booking. Confirm the cabin type, and always get written documentation that you're in the right room for your needs. Don't rely on online booking systems alone. This one phone call could be the difference between a dream vacation and a devastating disappointment. So there you have it. 12 normal items that cruise lines have quietly banned this year, plus one surprising rule about accessibility that's already changing the game for many travelers. Each one might seem small on its own, a speaker, a bottle, a snack, but together they can make the difference between boarding with confidence or watching your vacation fall apart at the security desk. But here's the good news. When you know the rules, you hold the power. Every ban has a reason behind it, and every rule has a smart alternative. Replace the speaker with earbuds, the steamer with wrinkle-release spray, the boxed wine with a single sealed bottle. Bring reef-safe sunscreen, a USB-only hub, and snacks that won't get you fined at customs. These are the skills of a savvy cruiser, someone who travels not with worry, but with wisdom. Remember, a cruise isn't about what you can't bring. It's about the freedom you gain when you prepare wisely. Freedom to relax, to explore, to laugh without stress, and to step off the ship at each port ready for adventure. If today's tips helped you, let us know with a quick like. Share your own confiscation stories in the comments, because believe me, every cruiser has one. And subscribe for more practical, senior-friendly cruise advice. Together, we'll make sure your next voyage is smooth sailing from the very first step. Safe travels, and see you on board.